What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Pizza and Pixels, the show where JP and I order a pizza and talk about video games until that pizza shows up, and it goes live every Saturday on youtube.com/HexxedPhenom or on podcast services around the globe, of course. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, aka HexxedPhenom, aka the Sony Jabroni, and joining me today is my co-host, the abstract rocker, JP. JP, how you doing, man?
Man, it's been a long day of work, but we're gonna have some fun right here, right now, and of course, rocking that Mountain Dew shirt right here, right now. So,
that is an awesome shirt.
So I feel pretty good, and it gets me excited for some zombies.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But guys, before we get into this quick little episode of Pizza and Pixels, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you weren't aware, that all summer long, over on the YouTube channel, we are streaming and raising money for Extra Life, and it is a charity that raises money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, which treat sick and injured children year-round. And of course, now during the pandemic, they could use our help now more than ever. So if you guys can, please consider donating. There will be links down in the description. It's a very important cause to me because my father passed away of cancer 17 years ago now. So if we can help kids that might be going through something similar, then it would mean a whole lot to me, as well as everyone here that's involved with the Extra Life stuff. So there will be 2 links in the description related to Extra Life. One to donate directly towards our goal of raising $1,000 for the kids, and another is to buy t-shirts like this one that I'm wearing right now. They come in a bunch of different colors, cuts, sizes. There's stuff for the whole family there. They're also in tank tops. There's also posters with this design on it. There's really anything you can imagine. And
I gotta get on that, boy.
Well, I'll be going back to work in a couple of weeks, so hopefully we'll see what happens. Maybe I could still get shirts for you guys, but we'll see what happens. But yeah,
I'll be donating anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah. But with that being said, guys, please, if you can, consider donating, and if not, help us out. Share the links around, share the streams around. I've been streaming every day so far. We're going to be streaming, hopefully, every day leading up to the Extra Life stream. We have, as of recording right now, we have raised $151, and I don't know, JP. I don't want to get too cocky, but I can almost taste that $1,000 for the kids, which means I can almost taste my hair being dyed green, which
it's all good.
I'm excited for.
Yeah, I will benefit that. I'm gonna keep it a secret. Yeah, this shows me drop $1,000 at the beginning. He told me $1,000.
It's like, by God.
By God, someone get the manic panic right now. I'll help you get there, boy.
But with that being said, guys, today we are talking about Crash Bandicoot 4, because it's a game that JP and I are both extremely, extremely excited about. And this is also an episode that we already recorded, and then literally...
I'm kind of glad we're re-recording it, because, man, dude, I was having such a bad day when we recorded that.
Yeah.
It was a fun time, though.
But, of course, in typical fashion, literally less than 12 hours after we finished recording our episode about Crash Bandicoot 4, a bunch of media outlets got hands-on with the game, and so a whole bunch of new information came out. And literally in the episode we said, well, we don't know much, we've only seen a trailer and like maybe a minute of gameplay on the side.
Yep.
But now we have like
12 hours later.
Yeah.
Everybody and their mother played it.
Yeah.
Literally like 20 YouTubers I sub to played it. I'm like, can anybody just play this?
I was like, crazy. I want to play it. We should have got to play it. Pizza and Pixels, man. Come on.
Yo, I mean, I don't know how exactly you'd go about that, but honestly, if you went through their PR team, you might be able to get that demo. I'm assuming it's something on the store. I mean, maybe they ship it to you, but by God, I got the game in my hand.
Oh no, I'm sure it's like a thing where the developer probably gives you a code for it, and then you download the demo.
So I don't know. You could check, and you just go on the live stream. All right, guys. Today on the live stream, we're going to be playing a full-end demo of this game.
Dude, that would be such a hype stream of us playing through the Crash 4 demo. But
I mean, like, it's worth checking out, man. You can reach out and be like, codes.
I'll look into it. I think it probably has something to do... It might have something to do with, like, the amount of total listeners you have for your show. And I know this show doesn't have a lot of listeners, unfortunately, so we'll see.
try.
But regardless, we're going to be talking all about that hands-on demo for Crash 4. And we're also on a bit of a time crunch because
Oh yeah, shit, you're right.
I have the live stream coming up. But yeah, so let's just hop right in. The first thing we're going to be reading is, or actually, I'm going to read that article that you talked about first, real quick, before we get into the actual gameplay stuff. This one is from Matt Gardner at Forbes. Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto composer confirmed for Crash Bandicoot 4 score. So, there's barely 2 months to go until the long-awaited Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time releases. While a few things have already been revealed about Crash and Coco's next outing on Xbox One and PS4, Activision has remained tight-lipped about other particulars until now. Following great feedback from Crash 4's music during early previews, the game's composer has been confirmed as the award-winning Walter Mayer. While he's fresh from his work on the fantastic Netflix original series Formula One to Drive to Survive, F1's answer to Amazon Prime celebrated All or Nothing. The London-based musician is also the creative genius behind soundtracks for some of the world's best-known game franchises. Mayer's career has seen him at the heart of scores for Grand Theft Auto 4, San Andreas, and Vice City, Call of Duty Mobile, Killzone Shadowfall, Splinter Cell Conviction, and a handful of Total War games, including Total War Warhammer. He also took the lead on Universal's excellent documentary, Ronaldo, which focused on the titular love him or hate him Portuguese soccer powerhouse, a figure so divisive that at least 2 in 5 English people have probably seen their local pub burn down over his on-field behavior. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting. I mean,
I'm pretty stoked about that. I mean, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be dope, especially with that guy doing it. Like,
yeah.
He always nails it out of the park.
I mean, those are some heavy-hitting game soundtracks, especially that like GTA 4, San Andreas, Vice City, Killzone, Splinter Cell.
All I know is Grand Theft Auto Vice City, dude. Let me tell you about the score for that game and the soundtrack and all. How good. Even the original themes that they had, it was just the guy knows how to nail it. So
yeah,
I'm willing to bet we're gonna get one hell of a soundtrack composition from him.
yeah. Well, the thing is, especially with GTA 4, San Andreas, and Vice City, the scores were always able to so well capture like the feeling of the game and the era it was set in and the city and like the surrounding. It really brought everything together. So if they can achieve something similar for Crash 4, which I mean is a big step away from something like Grand Theft Auto and these other games that are, like third-person shooter, like action games. It's interesting to see him jump to Crash Bandicoot, and I'm excited to see how that works out. I have no doubts, though, that it's going to be amazing, because personally, I love the Crash Bandicoot soundtracks. I'm a huge fan of them. Yeah,
dude. I mean, they're always good, no matter, Wrath of Cortex probably didn't come up a lot in this video, but Wrath of Cortex had a very, very good soundtrack. I mean, obviously, it was the first main installment since Naughty Dog, and Naughty Dog, obviously, do we really need to talk about how epic their compositions and scores were? So it's always cool. No matter it's Crash Bash, Crash games always have a dope soundtrack.
Even Crash Bash I didn't think was too bad. I just felt that some of the music was a little bit too repetitive in that game. But what they had there really wasn't that bad. It still had a Crash essence to it.
Yeah, I don't think they composed as much for that game, just because it kind of just...
It was just like a spin-off, yeah.
Yeah, but for what it was worth and what they had time to do with it, that was pretty cool. I wish they could have made a full score for that game instead of just I don't know, maybe 10 or so loops, recycled things.
Yeah.
I mean, they had one for level design and all, but pretty cool.
But one thing that I hope that they put the Crash 4 soundtrack on Spotify, because I have the Crash Insane trilogy on Spotify, and I bump it all the time. It's so good. It's just, and it's it's not even a separate thing I have downloaded. It's in the same. I just always download all my music to just one big playlist. So it's in the same playlist as things like Avenged Sevenfold and Metallica and stuff. So sometimes you'll get Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold, and then a Breaking Ben song, and then a Crash Bandicoot song. And it's
cool.
It's great. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic, and I'm actually amazed. Well, I guess the Insane Trilogy kind of covers everything, is what they did. Did they do their own version of everything from the scores, or did they remaster a lot of the original stuff? I can't
It's
remember if they
it's
did
it's
or
like it's
what.
remixes basically.
I was gonna say, and then CTR. I don't
CTR
rep the
was
new
awesome
version,
too.
but the remastered audio from the original is tight.
I like to swap between them on CTR because I can't decide which ones I like better.
Yeah, I'm a nostalgia guy. Like I don't mind the new thing they made. It's just like hearing that original music just brings me back to 1999. So
Yeah.
that's why I rep it, just for the nostalgia. But yeah, the new stuff's not bad either.
All right, so now we're going to get into the main talking point, which we're going to talk about some articles that covered that hands-on preview. This one is over at IGN by Felicia Miranda. It says, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, hands-on preview when past and present collide.
Oh, that's so sick already.
Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time is canonically set after the events of the third game, Crash Bandicoot Warped. Despite the slew of main series Crash games that came out since then, it arrives nearly 12 years later, knowing that the subtitle, It's About Time, makes perfect sense. I didn't expect the Insane Trilogy to push the series forward, but it did raise the question, what would a contemporary Crash Bandicoot game look like? After my hands-on time, it looks like Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time might strike all the right chords. It has all the familiar markings of the first three games. Linear level design that demands precise platforming skill and a plethora of collectibles, crystals, and secrets to uncover. But with a few meaningful iterations to the formula, such as noticeable improvements to gameplay, which we'll get into in a little bit, and level design, fresh mechanics like quantum masks, timelines, and new playable characters, and vibrant new worlds with some seriously stunning environments. A story of two time-traveling bandicoots. Crash Bandicoot 4's story is as on-brand as it gets. Dr. Neocortex and Entropy have escaped from their interdimensional prison, but not without wreaking havoc and ripping a gaping hole through the fabric of space and time. Once again, the evil scientists embark on a mission to take over the multiverse while Crash and his sister Coco do everything in their power to stop them. It's undeniably Crash, but if you're anything like me, a completionist who wants to collect every single gem, you probably won't be paying much attention. You probably won't be paying too much attention. That's because you'll be busy falling to your death an innumerable amount of times while trying to smash every box and collect every bit of Wumpa fruit through gritted teeth. Yes, Crash Bandicoot 4 feels like it will retain the series' signature difficulty and maybe even crank it up a notch or two.
Well, that's good. It's gooch.
I don't know, personally, like, I love the difficulty of Crash Bandicoot platforming. I love
really
that
is.
it's not, I love that it appeals to kids in the art style, but also if you actually try to complete it as a kid, you just get pummeled into the ground for the most part.
And even and even years later, you play these games again, and it's like, wow, I suck at some levels.
Yeah.
Like Cortex, you're like, damn, man. And well, then you saw the remasters on Insane, and it's like,
Even
damn,
the
man.
remasters are still pretty hard.
Yeah, well, especially how they screwed you on like the high road and all that stuff. Like you can
Yeah.
walk the rope and all like you used to be able to, but it's a pain in the dick now to
Yeah,
do it.
because
So
they changed the hitboxes from flat to rounded, which is annoying. But
is someone said something about Crash 4 with the hitboxes and all. I think everything's fixed now in this
I
game,
hope so.
apparently for people. Yeah, because I know a lot of people were like a little pissed about from the flat to the pill shaped one and all that, but yeah, they were like, this isn't as reachful as the Insane Trilogy first was. I'm like, oh, okay.
That is the one blemish on the Insane Trilogy's resume, if you will, is
Mhm.
that it did everything so incredibly well, and it made all three games better. Like I would say that the Insane Trilogy is the definitive version of all three games to play. But the stupid hitboxes on the ledges, man, like especially
Yeah.
even if the original game had that, that's something that you should fix because it's so rage inducing. But the fact that the original game didn't have it and the new games did made it even worse.
Yeah,
And it
it was
doesn't
like
happen so often, but when it does, it's so noticeable and so annoying.
like I kind of wish they just went back to the drawing board and just like I mean, that had to be in since the engine was built for the game. So like they
Yeah.
knew it had to be in the game. I mean, maybe it's just something they did and forgot about, and it was too late to fix it.
That's
Because
probably what happened, yeah.
it creates a lot of weird, stupid deaths that you normally wouldn't have. So it makes you
Especially in
feel
some
like
of
a
the
noob.
time trials.
Oh my god, those time trials, man. Yeah, this new game's gonna be crazy, and we got what 100 plus levels.
Yeah.
They get more in detail with that whole thing.
Um, not directly, but like it kind of I don't know. We'll get to it, but it kind of lets you assume what they mean by 100 different levels of play. So let's keep reading on. This was most noticeable in the level Snow Way Out, which I'm glad that they're keeping the puns for the levels. That's one of my favorite things about the levels.
Someone call Hulk Hogan.
This Arctic fishing village has 6 gems, and it's filled with icy hazards and plenty of rickety wooden scaffolding to keep you on your toes. Undead pirates with hooks and arms, cannons that shoot out swordfish like harpoons, and loitering about, but these predictable foes are the least of your worries. The most perilous platforming of my playthrough took place at a freezing river where I had to use sheets of ice to travel up and down stream. These moving platforms alternated between comically slippery to just so fragile that they crumbled under Crash's feet if I stood there for too long. If I wasn't hellbent on trying to break open every crate in the level to get my celebratory gem, I would have only had to survive this death trap once, but after hitting an exclamation crate, which activated ghost crates, I was compelled to backtrack up the river to break these newly materialized crates, thus testing my ability to make it across the same treacherous area more than once. So again, a confirmation of a classic long-standing Crash puzzle, if you will, breaking an exclamation point crate and having a backtrack to get the ghost crates that are now filled out. My death count quickly added up and my patience did wear thin, but I wanted to keep trying and eventually I did succeed. Crash fans will be used to this type of punishment, and it's very clear Crash Bandicoot 4 is intentionally targeting that demographic.
Yep.
Newcomers...
Sir, are you can pummel into the ground? Maybe. Maybe. I've had years of experience, sir. How much experience? Let's just say I was 7 and now I'm 28. 21 years again, pummeled into the ground. Boom.
Pretty much. Newcomers or those used to more simple platforming experience might be deterred. Luckily, the game tries to address this by adding difficulty with 2 modes, Modern and Retro. Retro mode, like the classic games, limits your tries to the number of lives you have, which is a nice option if you're someone who wants the classic experience. Modern mode, on the other hand, gives players unlimited chances to finish a level, only taking you back to the last checkpoint after you've died. It replaces extra life crates with golden Wumpa crates, and also adds a nice little death counter in the corner of the screen. I enjoyed having the option of modern mode as it makes the higher difficulty of certain areas a lot more tolerable, and I was able to keep trying and improvising without the frustration of having to start all over again. So what's your take on that? Do you think...
So what exactly was the switch from classic to modern mode? And is this time trials or is this actually in a level?
No, these are like... I don't know if you could switch it on the go, but I assume when you start the game, you choose between either modern mode or classic mode. So, retro mode, like the classic games, limits your tries to your number of lives you have.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you have a set number of lives. If you lose them all, game over, you'll have to start the level over again. Modern mode, on the other hand, gives players unlimited chances to finish a level, so unlimited lives, only taking you back to the last checkpoint crate after you died. So you can die 1,000 times, and you just keep going back to the same checkpoint crate. And it replaces extra life crates with golden Wumpa crates, which will give you a bundle of Wumpa fruit, basically.
I mean, so it's kind of like, so you can either do classic or like trials practically, where you just have a death counter in the corner and you finish the game practically. Is that how that goes?
Yeah, but I think realistically, if you're playing to completion, it doesn't really matter which one you do, because I don't know if this article goes into it at all, but I know like one of the gems in all of the levels is going to be to finish the level with less than a certain amount of deaths.
Yeah, maybe that'd be pretty cool, and I just think it's gonna be interesting. I guess it depends on like how you are with Crash Bandicoot, because personally, I'm just gonna go classic because that's obviously all I know from the series, because that's all we had until this game. And Modern mode, I could see like I could see Bree doing modern mode or something like that, or people that aren't really like fully acquainted with it and don't want to like get game over and get crushed from whatever might be happening. But
Yeah, modern mode is definitely for kids or people new to the Crash Bandicoot style of
yeah,
platforming.
yeah, there's no doubts on it because if you're a hardcore fan of Crash Bandicoot, like you're more than likely gonna hit classic mode for it. But if you just want to fly through the game and not have to worry about like losing your death, I mean, I don't think I ever had game over in Crash Bandicoot practically for the most part, but unless I was fucking around.
I remember seeing like screenshots of what the game over screen looked like for the Insane trilogy, and I was like, huh, never seen that before.
Yep. So it was, because for me it's like, well, or for us or classic Crash Bandicoot people and veterans of the series, for us it's like, oh well, if I want to stack my lives, I can just go in this level and get all the Wampa crates or this or that. Next thing you know, you have like 50 lives, and it'd be something. Wait, can you get over 100 lives in Crash Bandicoot?
I don't know about the new one. There's a glitch to do it in at least. There's at least a glitch to do it in at least. I don't know if it works in 2 and 3, but I know in Crash 1 in the Insane trilogy, you can get over 100 because I have a save on my account with like 115 lives.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, yeah, it'd be kind of cool if they finally broke the barrier where, I mean, this is the time to do it, really, when you think about it, just due to the console and you're not limited anymore. But it'd be kind of cool if you can get over 100 lives, like, flat out without glitching the game. Because even back in the day, you were able to glitch, but it'd be kind of cool just to be like, hey, man, I got 158 lives. So,
yeah.
It's not too bad. Yeah, I'll be going classic, though, personally.
Yeah, I'll definitely start off on classic. Probably, unless it gets, like, unfairly difficult, I don't think I'm going to switch off of classic unless there's trophies assigned to modern mode. Then I'll probably use it, but I kind of doubt they would do that. So, we'll see. There's science, and then there's quantum masks. Tweaks to physics in the Insane trilogy made Crash Bandicoot feel stiff, and it amplified the difficulty in ways that felt unfair. I don't necessarily agree with that, but everybody has their own opinion. In Crash Bandicoot 4, Crash's movements are fluid, and jumping no longer feels like you're being weighed down by an invisible sack of potatoes. He also has all of his signature moves along with some fun new abilities, temporarily granted with the help of quantum masks. Unlike Aku Aku, quantum masks aren't found in boxes. Instead, they materialize in areas where their powers can be put to use, transforming into a suit for Crash to wear. Snow Way Out introduces the mask Kapunawa, which gives Crash the ability to slow down time.
Kapunawa.
I like the fact that sounds like the name of the mask sounds like the sound that Aku Aku makes when you collect them.
Kapunawa. I bet they're just sitting there, guys, what should we name these men? I swear, Apu Apu better be in this game because that's pretty cool. Mega Mix Mania was...
Yeah. I don't like the track, but I thought it was a great design for that mask. The first time I used Kapunawa's power was after hitting a red exclamation crate that activated ghost crates inside nearby areas outlined in red. The red exclamation crates are active for a very brief moment, and Kapunawa's ability only lasts for a few seconds. Pressing triangle or R2 before hitting the switch allowed me to run over and smash the boxes before they quickly disappeared, but getting the timing right took a few tries. This timing became even more important when I had to use Kapunawa's ability to cross a giant icy chasm. The only way across was to slow down time and use a couple of falling glaciers as platforms. If I activated the powers too soon or too late, the glaciers wouldn't be at the right height I needed to make it across. If I took too long to hop across, then it was straight back to the last checkpoint. Another quantum mask called Lani Loli has the power to phase objects in and out of existence. He's introduced in Dino Dash, a level overgrown with tropical greenery and poisonous flora that spits out venom and spores that stun. Dinosaurs roam about, some helping Crash navigate across the levels, many lethal heights, and one in particular that poses a major threat, but I'll touch on that later. Crash Bandicoot can now rail grind, and Lani Loli's power assisted me in getting him safely across a long winding vine suspended over a canopy of trees. As Crash began to slide, crates and obstacles showed up in quick succession. The circle button allowed me to alternate between hanging below the vine and standing on top of it, Well, Lonnie Loli's powers let me choose, or let me phase in crates to break them while phasing out any pesky obstacles that threaten to knock Crash off of his path. With the ability to alter space and time, the quantum masks don't feel too overpowered or overly frivolous, unlike Aku Aku, whose presence I do think serves a purpose, especially in a game known for its difficulty. They grant powers that require thought and skill to use. I'm interested to see them at work in Crash Bandicoot 4 in the future, when I can use them at their full potential.
You know, I think honestly, the way this is shaping up with the masks and stuff like that, I have a feeling the masks are probably going to be like the hardest part of the game in terms of mastering like how to do what ability, when to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, as I'm hearing all this stuff about the masks and what they do and how much it lasts and the red boxes, the clear boxes, I'm kind of like, I feel like that is going to be like the biggest twist for people in this game. Because other than that, you know, it's already embedded in our brains of like what to do or what to possibly do until we learn the levels. So on top of doing that, now you have to learn the masks, and obviously there's the setups that I'm sure is probably coming for the 100 plus. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see like these new masks and figure it out. And it makes me wonder, like, if and when a sequel to Nitro Fuel comes out, are you gonna see these masks in the game?
Yeah.
Because that would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be really, really cool.
Yeah, that is a good question. Is like,
because like,
would these masks be like characters going forward? Like, would they kind of, you know, be part of a potential new trilogy for Crash, or are they just going to be like a gimmick, like a one and done gimmick, like we've seen with the Elementals in Wrath of Cortex, or
Cortex, you
know, things like that?
I think like, I mean, personally, I'm a firm believer that this game, all signs are pointing to a Wrath of Cortex remaster, because you have the artwork design, the camera, the engine, the feel. It's all there from the Wrath of Cortex. I feel like if they're gonna obviously make a new trilogy out of this storyline, but I feel like when they remaster Wrath of Cortex, on top of the normal elementals, they might throw in little funny Easter eggs to these masks now that they exist, whereas in the original they didn't. So it'd be really, really cool just to see that. I mean, I'm sure the new trilogy is going to include a lot of these random masks. I'm sure some of them might stick around. You know, the thing is, when you revive a series so many years later, I mean, literally it's 22 years since Crash Warped. You know, you kind of have to have something that people look forward to after the fact. So
yeah,
I'm hoping they at least keep a batch of the masks and don't, like, I don't think every game is going to be all these masks, certain seconds to do it and stuff, but I feel like they should at least maybe keep the best ones that people like and then move forward. Because if not, it's just a copy paste if you're just like using the same thing. So they're at a point in time where they could take the formula, they could tweak it, they could set up a remaster that everybody wants, and who knows, maybe Crash Bash. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I would really dig that. But they could really play around with a lot of stuff. So I think it's definitely a time where I'm glad they're doing these new things, because honestly, if not, people would just be like, well, obviously people already talk about the artwork direction from the Insane Trilogy. So if they didn't add anything in, people would just be like, well, this is half-baked. So I'm glad they did something new. So it should be very interesting to see what they do with the masks going forward.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I think similar to you, they'll probably like pick and choose to keep a few of them and then go forward.
See what works and, you know, see what people think. Because I know, which is really cool, is that with Toys for Bob, Beanox, like all those new studios, like they're actually very hands-on with the community and what people want. A lot of this has dictated. Even Nitro Fueled, you had the patches, the fixes, like Rillaroo, like, so they really listen to the community. So I think now that we have technology on our side, like we didn't back then, like social media and everything, I think they could really get hands-on and give us really what we want, since it's 22 years later. It's about time.
Yeah, I wonder if, like, one thing I want to know is, like, they obviously made mention of it in the original reveal trailer, of them, like, you know, poking fun at the fact that yes, this does take place after Warped, but there's also been how many, like 20 plus Crash games since then. Which obviously they did the tongue-in-cheek nod with the, oh, how many times have you beaten this clown? 3? Oh, it seemed like more. I wonder if there'll be more Easter eggs like that throughout the game, like if maybe there'll be, like, since the level is about traveling through different multiverses and stuff, like maybe we could see like a nod to Wrath of Cortex, or a nod to Twin Sanity, or dear God, a nod to Mind Over Mutant, or Crash of the Titans, or Skylanders, or something.
Oh God, Skylanders triggered. They took Spyro out of his own game. But
I mean, realistically, if we're going across dimensions and multiverses, why can't we get the real Spyro Crash crossover game? That's what I want to know.
exactly, right? Yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see like what they do and where they go. Time flies, literally.
Definitely.
In this game. In this game.
Alright, let's keep going. Space, time, and alternate timelines. Dino Dash features a chase segment with a T-Rex, that threat I mentioned earlier, and it requires some very nimble platforming. I ran past nitro boxes, dodged sporous fungus, slid under prickly vines, and hopped over molten lava. It's just like the segments of Crash games past, but it's one of those things that doesn't get old. Platforming using purely reflex and somehow making it out alive will always be so deeply satisfying. Something new was introduced during this chase, and it was a random event that stopped the T-Rex in its tracks. It was the result of an alternate timeline, which offers players a chance to play another portion of the level as a different character and see from another perspective how a certain unexplained event initiated. A different perspective. Snow Way Out has an alternate timeline you can play as Neo Cortex, putting you in a lab coat and shoes of the long-standing series villain. At first, I was trepidatious about a new playable character thrown into the mix, not only because I wanted Toys for Bob to make sure they got Crash platforming right, but because there's a thin line between addictive new gameplay and a throwaway gimmick. Thankfully, playing as Cortex is much more the former, so much so that I was initially thrown by how differently he plays.
You know,
Cortex. Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're all good. It's not too. I mean, it's a very valid point. Just seeing what video games have done, you know, there really is a fine line between a really damn good game and a really shitty ass gimmick that everyone's just like, really, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. So,
and like even in beloved games, like you see them fall to the gimmick trope,
man. Yeah,
like especially the more recent Pokemon games. I know so many people that are hardcore Pokemon fans, but they just keep switching out gimmicks and not keeping any of them, no matter how much fans like them, just for the sake of being different. Like they had Mega Evolutions, and then they got rid of those for something else, and then they got rid of whatever that replacement was for Gigantamaxing Pokemon in the new game. And people are like, can you just pick one and stick with it and flesh it out instead of doing one for random Pokemon for one game, then doing a different thing and not bringing the other one back, you know what I mean? So
exactly,
like the article says, there's a very fine line between, you know, great and engaging gameplay and just a throwaway gimmick. So
exactly, you know, gotta have that balance. So I'm really hoping they find the balance, because like it would really be a tragedy the way 22 years. I mean, they really are sitting on a lot here. Like we're talking 22 years later. And you know what they say, man, after the first trilogy, it can get very weird, and usually by the sixth one you could have that full circle experience. I think Crash will do that. I have no doubts. It's just, it is a long time to wait for a sequel, and a lot of things have happened since then. So it's a very weary topic. I think they'll pull it off.
Yeah. Alright. Cortex only has a single jump rather than Crash's double, and instead of a spin attack, he fires his polymorphing blaster at enemies. The fire blast turns them into a stone platform, while a second shot reduces them to a gelatinous cube and a convenient bouncy surface. Couple this with Cortex's jetpack dash move, and suddenly there's almost a new, but still quite engaging platformer thrown into the mix. Cortex's portions still require precise timing and a little platforming experimentation, but in a new rewarding way.
Definitely gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm excited to play as Cortex. I mean, technically, he's been playable in Twinsanity, but this definitely seems like a much more platformy take on the thing and not just like a generic third-person shooter segment.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like people really love Twinsanity, but like I think the people that really love Twinsanity don't remember old school Crash Bandicoot. They just remember the gimmick
Yeah.
of throwing them both, and that's cool. If they remaster it, I'll fucking play it. It's whatever. But it was a different time.
Yeah.
It was kind of where I gave up on new Crash games. To be honest with you, it was a good
Yeah.
game, but I was like, I don't know. And then Crash of the Titans and all that bullshit came out.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. But Crash Tag Team Racing was pretty good. I'll give it to them on that. But yeah, seeing how that blaster is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that.
I'm excited to play as Cortex. I mean, the gameplay definitely looked fun and obviously different enough from Crash where it doesn't just feel like a skin, like a reskin just with a gun, you know what I mean? Which I think is smart actually, and it makes it so that you don't really know what to expect going into a Cortex segment, which is cool.
Didn't they say that? I'm pretty sure in this game there's actually going to be. I'm pretty sure you can play as like Entropy and Dingo Dial and Engine. Aren't they going to have like different characters that pop in here? I'm pretty sure.
I think all that's confirmed right now is on any level other than Cortex specific levels, you can play as either Crash and Coco, and they say switch at will, but I don't know if that means you could switch in the middle of playing a level. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
that'd be really
pretty much every normal level you can play as Crash and Coco no matter what. But then there's the specific Cortex segments in some levels. But yeah, I don't know if I sent you that gameplay thing. I know it was like a 20-30 minute thing, so I don't know if you watched. But it actually was really cool. It was basically like when you played as Cortex, you were playing in like a different portion of that what the hell is the Snow Way Out level?
Way Out. I think I love that game.
And when you get to the end, you see like it plays a little cutscene and Cortex like blows up this bridge that Crash is about to walk across, and then it switches the perspective over to Crash. And because the very beginning of the Snow Way Out level, you see that bridge blow up and collapse, and you don't know why. And then when you go back and play as Cortex, you see that he's the one that blew up the bridge. And then so from that segment, from that cutscene on, where we're playing as Cortex, you blow up the bridge, then you play as Crash, and you have to play an alternate version of that level now, which is really cool. But yeah, to end off this article here, it says Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is still in development, and the demo was a version of the game that is subject to change. That said, what I experienced feels promising. It has all the appeal of a classic Crash game, but with what feels like meaningful additions and improvements. The art style might be the best Crash Bandicoot has ever looked, even better than Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, and the difficulty feels true to the series. I'm excited to see Toys for Bob include 2 modes, but I hope they also consider some more accessibility settings in later versions of Crash Bandicoot 4, so it can be a game that not only appeals to fans, but is welcoming to everyone. So that's the ending of that article, and then we have another one that came out today, also from IGN. This one's by Jonathan Dornbush. It says, Crash Bandicoot 4, new gameplay shows new tricks, returning moves. After years and years of entries that tried and often didn't quite capture the magic of the original trilogy, we're actually getting a proper Crash Bandicoot 4. Crash 4, It's About Time comes from developers Toys for Bob, who have a long history with platformers, most recently tackling Spyro Reignited Trilogy. With our first look at Crash 4 gameplay and details, we saw some various time-hopping locales Crash and Coco will venture off to. Thanks to a bit of new exclusive footage, which you can watch in the video breakdown below, we can also see how a level will flow and many of the new moves, ideas, and returning gameplay tricks Crash 4 will bring later this year. This pirate-themed level takes Crash from the seaside shore through a seeming pirate cove to a cavernous end-of-level treasure area. And thankfully, a lot of the staples of the Crash experience appear intact, which Toys for Bob has said is a key component of why they called this Crash 4. Wumpa, Aku Aku, Nitro, and TNT crates all return as collectibles and hazards throughout the world. There's also a few new crates thrown in, including one that spits fire in multiple directions, as well as a golden Wumpa fruit crate at the end of the level. Speaking of the end of the level, in true Crash original trilogy form, we've got a crate counter tallying your success and aiming to 100% the level by smashing every crate. It's a familiar touchstone, but an important one, and another seemingly returning aspect is time trials, as a stopwatch appears at the start of the level. Toys for Bob's Lou Studer, in an interview with IGN, told us that the team is focused on really enriching Crash 4 with replayability in the same way that players could find reasons to keep coming back to the levels in the original Crash games. So time trials coming back, seemingly. I mean, it was to be expected, but I am both excited and also nervous to have to play through these larger, more expansive, longer levels and have to worry about time crates and everything and all the new hazards, but I'm excited for the challenge, I think. What about you, JP?
It's going to be just interesting to see, like, really, like, all the new dynamics and everything I should say reintroduce in terms of, like, what we went through. But it's going to be interesting to see all the new stuff they also introduce. And like I said before, like, trying to find the balance between, like, when to do certain things and all.
Yeah.
It's just going to be one of those, like, I don't know. To tell you the truth, like, I don't know. Like, I'm very, very excited, and I have been since it got announced. I'm a little nervous, but it's like that really good butterfly feeling, because you're like, wow, like, I might get fucking wrecked, or wow, I might actually be, like, really good off the bat. It's gonna be interesting to see, like, people like Bree play and, like, newer players to the series, because like, this is, like, when you think about it, this is like their installment.
Yeah.
And
because the thing is like,
it was made because of them and us, but, like, mainly them, because the new series and the reignition of Crash and Spyro in general. Even the next Spyro game, it's going to be like that. So it really is built for the modern era. So I'm very interested to see what happens.
I think that's why they have the inclusion of the modern mode and the retro mode. But I feel like there will need to be something a little more. And I'm sure the game will still have the like dynamic difficulty scaling, where, like, if you die too many times, they'll put a checkpoint crate closer to you, or you'll get, like, a couple of Aku Aku masks if you die a bunch of times, things like that.
Yeah, I think even back in the day they did that, right?
Yeah.
I know they gave you a mask. I don't remember the boxes, because I never really had that happen to me, but I did notice in the Insane Trilogy, though, when Bree was playing a lot, I did notice the boxes were constantly moving. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. It, like, adapts to how you play, which is really cool.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to keep moving on here. Of course, this time they're working with modern console technology, and the impressive details and designs... the impressive detail and design work proves it. There's a great bit of character enemy behavior early on, as Crash slaps a foe into one of these new enemies sporting whirlwinds around them, which causes that foe to arc on the wind and take out another enemy. Combo kills in Crash have always been a joy to discover, and this one hopefully hints at some intriguing combinations to come. The scope of the levels is also showcased in the middle rope sliding section, which offers a look at one of Crash's new techniques. But as he's sliding and flipping around these ropes, you can see much more of the level unfurl below. There's a whole series of platforming challenges for Crash to face on the lower deck of this level, and it speaks to Toys for Bob's efforts to offer expansive, larger levels than the original trilogy ever could. And last but not least, I just really wanted to point out this crate with a shark on it. Is there a shark in the crate? Is it a crate that will eventually house a shark? Is it a crate filled with food, toys, or costumes for sharks? And then finally, it says Crash 4 will take the series to new worlds on October 2nd, and it's about time that it comes... Oh, when it's about time comes to PS4 and Xbox One.
Dude, I'm like... I don't know, man. I'm really crushed that there's no PS5 version of that game. Like, it sucks, because there is an Xbox Series X version, so...
I don't think it... I just think it's going to be, like... Just
or
like I think it's just going to be backwards compatible, and it'll have some sort of improvements for PS5. I just think that they're... See, the weird thing with this console generation is marketing with these things is so confusing.
Yep.
That, like...
Right.
I'm sure they don't even want to try to muddy the waters by saying, like, yes, there is a PS5 version, but it's not a separate disc. It's just you put the PS4 disc in, and you'll have the PS5 improvements. I think they'd rather not even deal with the marketing for right now.
Yeah, like I'm hoping.
The fact that the Series X enhanced or optimized for Series X logo is on there tells me that there's definitely going to be improvements for the PS5 version.
Personally, I just hope they put out a PS5 version, because like I'm getting the PS5. I mean, that's no secret. I mean, I'm sure you're getting the PS5. You are the Sony jabroni, right?
Oh, so I'm the Sony jabroni. I'm gonna be. I was gonna say I'm gonna be there camping in line, but I'm probably getting mine from Amazon. So I'll be camping outside my house, waiting for the Amazon guy to deliver my PS5.
Just shows me like order mine to your house too. We're just sitting there. Oh my god, PS5.
we're sitting there in tents on my sidewalk, and we could just be sitting in the house.
They added Hazleton. That'd be a pretty.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, that would not be great.
That'd be a pretty dangerous night. We would have to document that. 3 in the morning, there's some guy asking me for change, but I really just want the PS5.
Chain boy.
Chain boy. So, I am getting the PS5. You are getting the PS5. I would really love it if Crash Bandicoot was just released. I mean, if I have to get the PS4 version and the PS5 is enhanced, I will buy it and put it in the PS5. It just sucks because they should probably make an announcement on that by September.
Oh, I'm sure they will before the game comes out.
Yeah, because people are going to be sitting there on a game for what, a month and a half before they get sticking in the PS5. It's just, I'm sure they have a plan.
Well, there was there was a news story. I believe we talked about it on Pizza and Pixels at some point, but there was a news story a while ago that said that any game submitted to Sony for publication after, I think, July 15th or something like that of this year has to run natively on PS5. So at the very least, it's going to run on PS5. And like I said, if the Series X has the optimized for Series X badge, that means it will include some combination of 4K, higher frame rates, whatever. And with Activision and Sony being all buddy-buddy, I see no reason why the PS5 wouldn't have enhancements.
Yeah, so, yeah, we'll definitely see. I'm just very stoked because now this is going to make me sound very, very fucking old. So everybody get ready for a grandpa tale. So...
All right, gather around, kids. Grandpa's got a story for us.
All right, everybody gather around. Grandpa's got a story. So it is Christmas 2001. It's a long fucking time ago when you think about it, especially with all the shit that happened in the world. So I get a PS2. I get Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. Fucking great title. And on a blue disc.
Oh,
and
man,
likewise, I get Crash Bandicoot Wrath of the Cortex. Blue disc. We all know where that went with the Scotch tape method. So
I still can't believe that works.
I can't believe it either. I mean, I guess they really thought about it for a compact disc compared to a DVD-ROM. Maybe it was cheaper because it was enhanced. Man, that was definitely enhanced full of problems. But yeah, the Scotch tape method worked. So little Jeremy is very excited. He's got a brand new Spyro game and a brand new Crash game on the brand new console. And, in 2020, I would really like it to be in November that Crash Bandicoot 4 comes out on the PS5. Yeah. That would make me very, very, very happy. If I have to get the PS4 version and pop it in to the PS5, all right. I just want to experience Crash Bandicoot on the next level shit.
Yeah.
But it would be cool.
Obviously, it's going to look better and play better on PS5, but we're not going to see the real benefit of what Crash Bandicoot would be on PS5 until the next game, which will be designed specifically for PS5 and Series X. I mean, this game's been being worked on for like 3 or 4 years. I doubt PlayStation dev kits, as far as we know, have only been sent out like to their first parties, maybe, like 2 or 3 years ago, but...
That's why I think they should. I feel like they're holding off on that just to see if they get, like, the pre-orders for the current gen, and then they're going to be like, oh, hey, here's the next-gen version. But...
See, it's interesting to see, because, like, I don't even know... Obviously, it's down to the publisher, and we could go back and forth to talk about this all day, but, like, it's going to be so interesting to see how third-party games handle their cross-gen releases. Are some games going to have specifically a PS4 version and specifically a PS5 version? Where you could just buy the PS5 version and it'll only work on PS5, or you could buy the PS4 version that will be backwards compatible on PS5, but will it be the... Like, if I put, say, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the PS4 version, if I put that in a PS5, am I going to be playing the PS5 version game, or am I just playing the backwards compatible PS4 game? You know what I mean? So it's going to be so interesting to see how companies handle that.
I guess it really all comes down to how money hungry are the companies. 2K. I'm not naming anybody 2K. But I guess it all comes down to how money hungry they are.
I mean, we've heard definitely from separate company or from some companies about certain games that they are fixing this issue with free upgrade plans, and Xbox has their buzzword for it, which is smart delivery.
Just hope.
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm really dead set to see like an actual PS5 version, and I say that because, I mean, to be honest, I have the PS4 and I love the PS4. It's just I'm a PlayStation person, so if I have the PS4, I mean, you have the PS3 at your house, which we still have to start that Ratchet and Clank playthrough.
Yeah.
And I got the PS2, PSP, you name it. So it's like, why would I want to upgrade when I could just wait and buy the PS5 version because I'm that much of a fanboy? You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's cool for people that want to do that and save money while doing it if the company does it.
Yeah.
It's just, I know for a fact every company's not going to do that. It's going to really come down.
I mean, we're already seeing some companies not do the free upgrade, which sucks.
Yeah.
Like 2K. 2K is the big one I can think of not doing it, but yeah.
2K is the freaking pride and joy of God. The $70
money hungry bullshit.
Is that what it is? The money hungry whores that they are. Yeah, the $70.
Well, not only that, but there's just so many there's so much tomfoolery about there's 6 different versions of that game between current gen and next gen, and they all are listed as different things, and it's so stupid. There's the regular edition for PS4, then there's the Kobe Legendary Edition for PS4 and Xbox One.
But, the Mamba Edition.
Yeah, the Mamba Edition. But if you buy the base version of 2K21 on PS4 and Xbox One, you do not get a free upgrade at all. But if you buy the Mamba Edition on PS4 and Xbox One, you get an upgrade to just the regular edition on PS5 and Series X. So you can't... I mean, granted, I guess... I don't know. I'm trying to think. Of the items that you get in the in-game items that you get in the Mamba Edition on PS4 will transfer on your save anyway to PS5. So it doesn't... So I guess just getting the regular edition, you're still going to have all the VC and all of the My Team cards and stuff that it comes with. So I guess it doesn't really matter, but it's still just such a confusing way of doing it. Why can't there be a... Why can't...
Why can't you just get the Mamba to the Mamba? I don't understand that. Because you basically already have the Mamba. That's funny. The Mamba to the Mamba.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. It's exactly what I'm saying. It's
apples to oranges.
Is why confuse the marketing that way? Why not just put it simply and be if you get the Mamba Edition on one, you get the Mamba Edition on the next. If you get the regular edition on one, you get the regular edition on the next.
Yep.
So stupid.
Well,
but it's 2K that we're talking about, so.
At least we could transfer saves, so if I have to really wait to play Crash Bandicoot and pop the disc in the PS5, I can transfer my save to the PS5.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact once I jump on PS5, I'm not jumping consoles. I'll play PS4 on PS4, PS5 on PS5. I'm not gonna be putting discs in stuff. It's just crazy knowing it. But I love physical stuff, but I feel the physical generation this might be the last physical generation that there is. There damn well might be. I feel the next gen, PS6 or Xbox Unicorn Alpha Omega or whatever.
I mean, we'll have to see how long they decide this console generation to be, because there's been rumors saying that this might be a much shorter one, maybe only 4 or 5 years, and there's rumors that this might be a 10, 20 year console generation where they just keep putting out iterations, like the PS5 Pro and stuff like that. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I could see 10 years being 10 years. I think would be really good. I say that because obviously consoles, when they're made and released, they're already about probably a year or something behind in technology. So it's well,
see, the interesting thing with these consoles is I mean, granted, things can change in a few months, but as of right now, they're not outdated at all. Like, especially with the PlayStation 5, like, not even being a fanboy, but developers and Sony themselves have literally said that, hey, the SSD in the PS5 is way faster than anything you could buy for your PC right now, like, bar none. And they're not even expected to come to similar speeds until, like, 2021 or something like that. Or, like, at most late this year, but with, you know, pandemic, who knows?
They might be saying that in terms of maybe how, like, technology's just moving right now. When it does come out, though, I see the weird part is, though, you have people like every year, like, I know many people, they spend like $2,000 on their tune-up, and so I don't know if that's really 100%, but I could definitely tell you, to the normal market of people that are just looking to have a PC and build a gaming PC, like, I think the PS5 and Xbox, whatever, when they come out, it's probably going to have the top market thing. It's just, there's probably many people that'll spend like $2,000 to have that same speed on their PC, like, right now. So it's, to the general market, though, that's factual. To, like, the hardcore people that build, though, I'm sure they easily argue about it, but PC Master Race, so of course people are going to be arguing about it regardless. So it should be interesting, you know. It's going to be a very, very good console generation. I'm just ready for Crash, man.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited for Crash.
Crash.
I mean, I'm probably... I don't have the patience to wait for the PS5 version, unless the PS5 is releasing, like, maybe a week later or so, but, like, most likely it's coming out, like, mid-November, PS5. I don't know that I have the strength in me to wait 6 extra weeks to play Crash 4, because I've been waiting. I want to say I've been waiting for 22 years, but I haven't even been alive that long. But
yeah, literally when I was playing Crash Bandicoot Warped, Josh was what, -1?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, when did Warped came out in? Was it 98 or 99?
Came in fall '98.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, like -1.
Yeah,
maybe my mom just found out that she was pregnant with me, because I was born April '99. So
that's about the time that I wrote that legendary letter to your mom. God bless, God bless baby John. I'm so glad I don't know why she kept only that one. That's very interesting. I'd love to ask her that one day, but
my mom is very weird when it comes to, like, keeping cards. There's, like, certain cards that she'll just, like, open them and then throw them right away. And then there's other ones where she'll, like, store them away and bring them out, like, 20 years later. I'm just like, all right.
I can't believe she saved that note. I need to see that in person. Wow, that's awesome.
That is the craziest thing, because, like, of all of the people that she could have possibly saved one from,
right?
How does it end up being you? Like, that is such a weird, like, anomaly in the universe.
That is like the butterfly effect, essentially. It's just crazy. And here we are. And then
we are recording a podcast together.
And then I was his patrol in 6th grade when he was like a kindergarten or 1st grader. Yep. And now here we are recording a podcast talking about how he wasn't alive when I was playing this game.
Although Crash Warped is one of the first games I remember playing, and I loved it then, and obviously I still love it now. And yeah, I can't wait for Crash 4 either, man. I'm excited. Of course, when it does come out, we will be playing it in some form or fashion here on the channel. I'm not sure if it'll be a live stream or a video series or what, but we'll definitely be playing it. And, yeah, I don't know, with that being said, I think that wraps up everything that we have to say about Crash Bandicoot 4. Guys, let us know down in the comments. Are you excited for Crash Bandicoot 4? If you are, what platform are you picking it up on? Or are you going to be waiting for the next-gen consoles to play it? Let us know. But until next time, guys, this has been Pizza and Pixels, the show where JP and I order a pizza and talk about video games until that pizza shows up. And it goes live every Saturday on youtube.com/HexxedPhenom or on podcast services around the globe. But until next time, guys, another one bites the crust.